Hello everybody, welcome back to the A-Side. I am your host, Riley, and today we're going to be reacting to the brand new album by Harry Styles entitled Harry's House. Now, of course, Harry is from the ever-popular band One Direction, and now they've gone their separate ways and they've been putting out solo stuff for the last couple of years, and Harry's been the most successful thus far. So today we're going to be reacting to his brand new album. The record, of course, came out today, as I'm filming this, and I don't know a whole lot about One Direction. I am 18 years old, so I was still I was young when they blew up, and that would have been about the time I've been listening to the radio a lot. I knew a lot of girls in late elementary, early middle school that loved One Direction. I remember hearing their hits everywhere, some of which I actually don't mind. That's What Makes You Beautiful is pretty good. I like The Best Song Ever. And various other songs got really big. I remember kids at my school had like the Midnight Memories CD they'd bring to school. So I remember seeing a lot of it, but also not ever delving any deeper. Now, of course, they've all gone their separate ways and have been putting out solo work for the last couple of years. And I would say Harry's probably been the most successful. The only other I can really think of that ever had a hit was Liam with Pillow Talk, which a lot of people don't like. I think it was okay. It was like 2016. But Harry's been pretty consistently getting hits. The Sign of the Times, Watermelon Sugar, like a year or two ago. And I like Watermelon Sugar. And of course, As It Was now is really big on TikTok. So I'm definitely excited to hop into this thing. If you are new around here, first off, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. And you can always unsubscribe later if you want. But also, you probably don't know my music taste, and it's probably, you want probably a pretty good perception of what I like going into this record. On the channel, I react to a lot of post-punk and synth-pop, but I myself mainly listen to a lot of alternative rock. I like emo, pop-punk, shoegaze, dream pop. I also listen to a lot of hyper-pop. I like grunge, a little bit of metal, not a lot though. But there is a good amount of pop I enjoy. When pop is done well, it's really good. So I'm excited to see where this kind of is. I know for a little bit, Harry was kind of pulling from classic rock with like The Sign of the Times. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's just get into it. Music for a Sushi Restaurant. This sounds like a 1975 song title. Already, it seems very danceable. I like that weird key line. Ooh. I like those vocals. Very... I don't know. It's almost a little Princey with the vocals and the bass line. That is a thick bass line. This is really Prince. And that bass line is really jams. It's definitely wearing its influences on its sleeve quite a bit. But it's fun. I like that drum noise too. So, it really is wearing its influences on its sleeve. I think it's a lot of fun though. It's got this big, bright sound to it. Very danceable. I could see this at like a dance or at a club, going pretty crazy. It's definitely very different from what a lot of the pop is in the modern sphere. I feel like a lot of pop goes more minimalist and trap inspired now, whereas this is like really pulling from like I said, Prince, 80s R&B, funk rock. It's just a lot of fun, very big, very danceable. Like I said, really wearing its influences on its sleeve, but it's too fun to really sit here and criticize. Really good production too. Like, it goes down super smooth. Especially like The robotic, I know it's like, it's part of the production, but the gleam on the backing vocals just sounds really good. I like how clean and sparkly they sound. Okay. Oh, she's still going. Probably gonna fade into the next track. That was Music for a Sushi Restaurant. And that name is, like I said, really pretentious. It sounds like something Matty Healy would write, and I love the 1975, but it's so fun to rag on him. That's beside the point. Music for a Sushi Restaurant was a lot of fun and really enjoyable. I thought the production went down really smooth. It was big and bright and danceable. I thought the sparkly, gleamy background vocals made me think of like a night out on the town, partying with your friends. A lot of fun, but also I think very much wears a Prince influence very heavily on its sleeve. I mean, it's fair, he is one of the most influential artists of all time. But I mean, immediately off the back, I'm like, oh, yeah, Prince. But I still really liked it, so I'm going to give that the green. And I also think that was a really good way to open up the album, too. I'm sure there was a lot of anticipation going into this with Harry being such a big artist, and I feel like it was a really good way to kind of break the ice and introduce you to the record and really kind of, I don't know, lighten the mood with such a big, fun track to really get you going on the album. Like, okay, this is going to be good. Hey, gang. It's Riley from the future here, and I have to say, I've done a complete 180 on this song while editing it and listening to it again. I hate it. It's so overproduced and loud and just sanitized. It just sounds like a watered down Prince and has no other personality outside of that. And quite frankly, it's giving me a headache with just how much it is, how overproduced it is. Um, it's just too much, man. Um, so yeah, not an unlistenable song, but definitely not one I really ever want to hear again. Um, so yeah, track 2, Late Night Talking. I like the synth sounds on this record. They're weird, but I like them. Things haven't been quite the same. There's a haze on the horizon, babe. Yeah, I really like the electronic work. Nothing really goes to plan. You stub your toe, break your can. Feeling down. Oh. I really like the vocals there and the vocal melody. That was a little off key, but I really like that. Super like swirling almost. I like that kind of stuff. I'm really big about vocal melody. If there's a really good vocal melody, the song has got me hooked, and that right there was a great one. That's just like a really classic sounding pop vocal melody, and I love it. I also like the like synth voice there, the the pre-chorus. What an excellent pre-chorus. If you're feeling down, I just wanna make you happier, baby. Really sweet lyrics, and also just such a great melody. I just love how that sounds. He's got a really nice voice, too. Those synths are so good. The synth work is excellent on this record so far. I really like the background vocals. All this late night talking. All this late night. Oh, that was a really cool part where everything else dropped out at the end except for just the background vocals. Really neat way to end the song. Just a cool way to end it. I really enjoyed that song too. Once again, just a lot of fun. I thought some of the lyrics were really sweet, and I loved that post-chorus, the melody on that especially. Yeah, just another really solid song on this record. So far, I'm 2 for 2 with just fun 80s R&B inspired pop songs. It's getting the green, honestly. Riley from the future, I hate to keep doing this, but I didn't hammer home just actually how much I loved that song. I thought it was so much fun. I loved the synths, and I loved the melodies, and I loved the lyrics. I actually think it's probably easily the best song on the album, one I think I'd come back to a lot. Oh, I didn't even talk about, my mind is messy tonight, I guess. I didn't even talk about, if you're new around here, I listen to a song and then give it a rating. Whether it be meh, I give it the black GameCube controller. If I think it's good, I'll give it the green folder. If I think it's bad, I will give it the red folder. Music like this sometimes is kind of hard to talk about. A lot of the more popular mainstream stuff. Because sometimes there isn't a lot to go into. So if I don't have, like, mind-blowing things to say that are so deep and amazing, it's just fun music. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I think that's a good thing, And not everything needs to be super deep. So let's go to track 3, Grape Juice.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, that piano sounds so airy and pristine. It sounds like you're walking on a cloud. Reminds me a lot of some of the piano work that Tame Impala did on Patience, that one random single he put out in between Currents and the Slow Rush. Really reminds me of that very, like I said, 80s inspired piano, but it's so airy and light, like you're walking on a cloud. I love that piano tone. All these songs so far have just been like nice bass grooves to them, just really danceable. I like the vocal effects. It makes it sound like quaint and retrospective. It sounds so... that the melody there and the vocal performance and the just general sound of the music in that chorus just sounded so romantic and sensual, and it really pulled off that feel, and I really appreciate when the music can really reflect what the sentiment is doing. Really like it. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the song's called Grape Juice, and it's like he's reflecting the stages of a relationship, remembering it through the wine they drank together. So he's talking about, like, the first verse, yesterday it finally came, a sunny afternoon, I was on my way to buy some flowers for you. So it's them, like, getting together, like a first date. He's still excited. There's never been someone who's so perfect for me. But then it goes through, like, the time in their relationship. So he says, give me something old and red, talking about, like, an older red wine, because he got over it. So this is him, like, grieving and healing. And going back to the chorus, it gets all romantic, because they're drinking together, kind of in love, and then here it is, sitting in the garden, they're having pink and white. So he's just remembering how he felt in moments of a relationship, tying it together with, like, what he was drinking at the time, which I don't know how I feel about that, because part of it is kind of cute, but the other part of it reminds me a lot of AJR's Netflix story. So it's a little cute, but also just a little cheesy. But let's see where he goes with it. See, this part I think just sounds so like romantic and sensual. So that was Grape Juice. I'll give that the green. I thought the concept was pretty cute, like remembering a relationship through what wine you were drinking, connecting those moments. It's cute. The music starting to get a little stale. The whole, hey, I'm doing Prince, but in the 2020s was cool at first, and I still think it does sound really nice, but I'm hoping there's something to kind of shake things up just a little bit. If not, it's okay. I think this record's been fun so far, but not mind-blowing, you know? So yeah, I've heard parts of this song as it was, of course, the TikTok part I've heard. So let's just see what the whole thing sounds like. Immediately, I think this has much more of a modern sensibility to it, whereas the other song's very much rooted in the 80s. This, of course, being the single, I feel is very much more rooted in a modern sound, especially that synth tone and then the percussion. I feel like could stand next to songs like Stay. Similarly sounding, I think this one is already very modern sounding. I really like his melancholy vocal performance. It really brings out like the sad retrospectiveness of it. Because of course the main chorus, you know, it's not the same as it was. Things have changed and you can't go back to it. And now hearing the chorus connected to that in context, it makes a lot of sense that this is a really kind of sad, melancholy song. And I think he really portrays that through his vocal ability, and I think that's been one thing on the record I've really enjoyed so far. I think he's a pretty solid vocalist. I mean, of course, I say he's doing a good job with the melancholy. It's not like the same level as like Bernard Sumner or Damon Albarn. Of course, it's not like mind-blowing sadness like a record like Power, Corruption, and Lies or Plastic Beach, but it's there, and I like that it's doing something kind of like that. And I think that becomes a problem with music critics talking about pop music, and a lot of the more mainstream stuff is you're not going to get what you're used to hearing, because you're going to hear the stuff that people have already had these ideas and taken them so much further. But maybe the mainstream's just hearing it for the first time. That's the thing. You're going to hear a watered-down version of what you're used to hearing, but it's because it's pop music. It's made for the masses. It's not made for someone who scrolls through MewCore all day. And out of any music critic on this site, I'm probably going to be the one to like this the most, because I like pop music and have a more kind of egalitarian sense when it comes to music. I know that certain things are not going to be wild and experimental because they're made for the masses. And I think as far as pop music that's made for the masses goes, this is really well done. Not the same as it was. Yeah, so this part all over TikTok. It's just us. The phone. Harry, you're no good alone. Why are you sitting at home on the floor? I feel that. Answer the phone, Harry, you're no good alone. Why are you sitting at home on the floor? What kind of pills are you on? Not the pills part, but the first part of this, Harry, you're no good alone. Why are you sitting at the home on the floor? I mean, big mood. Ringing the bell, and nobody's coming to help. Your daddy lives by himself. He just wants to know that you're well. In this world, it's just us. So, according to Genius, the lyric, your daddy lives by himself, is within reference to Harry Styles' parents getting a divorce. And that all of a sudden gives the song a lot more weight, too. Because not only would this be, like, in a relationship, but your whole life in general, like, after a divorce, things aren't going to be the same as they were ever again in your life. And I think looking at this song from this perspective, rather than the perspective I was coming into it, because hearing it all over TikTok, right, you think, oh, it's, you know, just like a relationship song. Oh, it's not going to be the same as it was between us. But hearing it from that perspective, I think gives this song so much more emotional weight and a sense of devastation. So talking about the reason Harry's alone and he's, you know, on the floor taking pills is because after seeing what happened to his parents, he's scared to have that kind of connection again. And do that connection for himself. And I think that is really heavy and poignant. And looking at the song from that perspective really changes it for me.
You know it's not the same as it was in this world. It's just us. You know it's not the same as it was.
Ooh, that's really pretty. Like a nice crescendo of sound, adding the chimes, or the bell chimes. A nice descending scale. So from hearing the chorus on TikTok, I thought the song was one thing, but now listening to it and reading along with the lyrics here on Genius, I think gives the song a whole different amount of weight and really kind of blows the rest of the record out of the water. Because while these first three songs were a lot of fun, I felt the song was really vulnerable and open in a way that I didn't get from the other songs. I mean, the others were like fun pop songs, but this song really felt kind of honest and real. And I think part of it is maybe the production. It's a pop song, but I think if you were to like give Harry Styles like an acoustic guitar and have him pluck this out like a la Elliott Smith, I think this song could be completely heart-shattering. But I really like that. It's probably my favorite on the record so far. I'm going to give that the green. And I think, I don't know, it's pretty good. Definitely my favorite on the record so far. So let's go to the next track, Daylight. I like the beat of this song a lot. The actual like tempo and like rhythm of it. Bum 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 bum. It feels like a not a waltz. No, it's in 6/8 time. At least I think so. But still, not a waltz. But I think the time signature does help to give it this kind of like swaying feel. I don't know. I don't talk about music theory too much. I don't know much about it. I was in like chorus and band and stuff, and sometimes I can pick up on time signatures, and this sounds like it's in 6/8. If I'm wrong, let me know nicely. But it has that kind of swingy feel, bum bum bum, and I like it. It's a little different from the rest of the track so far. Almost has like a bit of a more soul swing to it. I like this little quirky synth line a lot too. This chorus is very, very repetitive though. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this chorus. I think it's really repetitive. I mean, he says daylight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Maybe more. I count 8. It's just a little repetitive. And it's kind of a shame when the chorus a lot of the time is the focal point of the song. For it to be so underwritten and repetitive feels like a letdown.
Fly to you. You be the spoon, dip you in honey so I could be sticking to you.
So I'm gonna give that song actually the red. I like the sound of it at first. I liked like the time signature and the rhythm of it. But when it actually got into the verses and the choruses, it just didn't work for me. Especially the chorus and the pre-chorus both felt so repetitive, and that's almost the whole song. You've got 2 verses and then the rest is chorus and pre-chorus, both feeling so repetitive and underwritten. And just seems like a bit of a throwaway song when you compare to what the rest has been going on so far. Just wasn't crazy about that track. Anyway, time for the last part of this episode. If you want to see part 2, go ahead and leave a like. Little Freak. It's me. I'm the Little Freak. I'm a little scrumpy little scrimblow. I'm a little gremlin.
Little freak, Jezebel. You sit high atop the
I don't like the sound of the song immediately. This is like the sides of modern pop music I don't like. The more like minimalist, very heavy auto-tune. Immediately I'm bored. Like, I hate this sound a lot.
little while. You bring blue
This sounds like
lights
the
to
kind of shit I would tune out like
starry haze
when I'm in
crystal
public
ball.
or like
Somehow you've become
at
so
school.
paranoia. A wet dream just dangling, but your gift is wasted on me.
This is a bunch of nothing sonically.
Your delicate point of view.
Oh, and the fucking bass is so cliche, modern sound.
Just thinking about you.
And listen. I don't mean to be like, oh, modern sound, modern music bad. Because it's not. Like, trap, I fuck with trap. I love, like, Playboi Carti. I like a lot of modern music. I love a lot of modern rock. And the experimental sides of stuff. But when it comes to modern pop, I feel like so much of it is this, like, really bland, boring, trying to be so safe sound. And it ends up being absolutely nothing. And it's, like, been this way since the Chainsmokers died off in, like, 2017. And I hate it. I hate this sound. I think it's so bland. I think it's so boring. There's absolutely no soul to it. And this song just has that sound. I can't stand it.
Just thinking about you.
Listen. I've been really nice this album so far, right? And I'm going to give some of my final thoughts now before I talk about Little Freak. The first 3 songs were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. 80s inspired pop bangers. But I really liked them. I had a lot of fun with them. And I loved As It Was. I thought it was vulnerable and emotional. And really had a heaviness the rest of the record didn't. Daylight I wasn't huge on. I didn't like. I didn't hate. I gave it the red because I would never conceivably want to listen to it again. But it wasn't awful. And, you know, the first 4 songs, while I really enjoyed them, really not necessarily my bag. I like them. I'm not going to give it like a 10 or anything. I'm not going to come back to these often. But I wouldn't be opposed to listening to it again. Little Freak, however, was fucking garbage. That song was awful. It was so bland, boring, and lifeless. It sounded like every other shitty song on the radio, where the rest of these didn't. They really had a life to them. Even the sadder songs, like As It Was, had a melancholy to it, whereas this just felt like a whole lot of fucking nothing. I already went on a whole rant about how I hate the way a lot of modern pop sounds, and I think this really falls into that just edgeless, boring contemporary modern pop. That song gets the red. That shit is some garbage. And you want to hear what a good, like, slow ballad sounds like? It's not overproduced. It's not trying to be safe or fit in. It's not trying to be radio friendly.
Drink up, baby.
It's
Stay
intimate.
up all night.
and depressing. It's got this warm intimacy to it, like you're sitting here with him. So it's not because it's slow I didn't like it, because there are slow songs I love. This song still has energy. It's not a big energy, but it's a kind of energy, and the production is doing something. It's not just being a bland, tasteless pop song that I would hear any other song on the radio do. And that's it for part 1, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a pretty good time. I've enjoyed this record thus far. And hey, if you want to see part 2, go ahead and leave a like. I'll probably do it at some point. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.